Sometimes cheap and expensive items are the same thing, with the only difference being the brand name. What are some examples of this? In the UK, there was a news story about a man finding another brand of crisps, chips, in a multi-pack. This made national news. Edit. Now my highest ranked comment is about crisps. And for those asking, here is the story: metro.co.uk 20170418. It turns out that Aldi hoops might be hula hoops in different packaging. 6582393. I used to work food packaging for Kroger. Roasted peanuts, dry oatmeal flavored or unflavored, cereal, chips. When we changed from store brand to branded item, we would stop the line and change the box and the package. The food is the exact same. Exact. Edit. For one thing, this thread was great to read. We all shared something today. Lol. For another, although I thought it would be self-evident, not every type of cereal, not every type of chips. Those of you who love your brand. Duck, yeah. I get it. Cascade all the way. It's better and no one's going to tell me different. But when we say there is no difference, we mean it. Food handlers unite. Serious question: why were brand name foods being packaged by Kroger? Didn't they come from the cereal company, or wherever, already in their respective packaging? Sorry if I am misunderstanding. Post, for example, doesn't own the factories. They pay the factory to make them cereal and put it in their box. Kroger buys the same cereal and puts it in a different box. Edit. I don't know if Post specifically has their own factory. I was just using them as an example. Can replace them with any cereal manufacturer. I wonder if it's all cereals, or just certain ones. Because store brand, from Kroger and a few other places, for things like Cocoa Fruity Pebbles has a lot weaker of a taste. And less chocolatey milk. And in some cases, the cereal actually looks lighter in color to reflect this. I can tell you that once, my dad put off-brand Cocoa Pops into a branded box. Little kid me knew instantly it wasn't the good shit. I bought the store brand version Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and my 4 never saw that box, had one bite and just said no. Edit. One word? I used to work for manufacturing machinery company. You'll be surprised how many major food and pet food producers make supermarket-owned brands. Yep. Worked as a cleaner for a major UK bread brand when I was a kid. Loaves went down 3 different conveyors into our slicers, each conveyor ending in a different brand's packaging. One our own, and the other 2 being budget brands. Same bread, same recipe, baked on the same day in the same oven. Priced differently depending on packaging. Reminds me of that Simpsons joke with the Duff Light, and Duff Dry all coming from the same tank. That episode was great. Raspberry Duff, Lady Duff, Tartar Control Duff. ZzzQuil is at least a 200% markup from Benadryl. The only active ingredient in ZzzQuil is 25 mg of diphenhydramine, whereas Benadryl is also 25 mg of diphenhydramine. Or you can just buy the generic brand of 25 mg diphenhydramine and pay even less than for the pink Benadryl package. Generic is almost always the way to go. There is one prescription medication I take that I actually need brand. Sometimes the secondary ingredients change the effectiveness of the active ingredients for certain people. Diphenhydramine seems to work effectively regardless of manufacturer. There is one specific generic version of my birth control that mysteriously relieves the constant nauseous health problems I have caused and makes me actually hungry every single day. The generic brand my insurance wants me to take makes the nausea worse, so I pay $120 out of pocket for that specific brand of magic hunger anti-baby pills, and I've gained 15 bootylicious pounds since figuring that out. No one can explain it, but I can't argue with results. Generics have the same active ingredients. However, the chemical composition of fillers or other ingredients used to make the pill can be different. This concoction can affect everyone differently even if the active ingredients are the same. I had a similar experience with my birth control too. Brand name went well, but when I went to the generic I would not stop crying for 2 weeks. The second I switched meds the symptoms went away. Everyone is different, and will respond to medications differently. You guys should see the stuff we deal with in the medical field. I wanted to get a mesh metal glove to protect myself when using a saw during autopsies. Our medical supplier, Fisher Scientific, sold the hospital a medical-grade chain mail glove for $300. They forgot to take the Bass Pro Shops tag off. It was a $12 glove for cleaning fish. Their name should have been a giveaway, Fisher Scientific. Looks like it was Fisher's price. Champion does this so much. They have like cheap Champion and the more pricey one. Champion literally used to be shit and yet get made fun of for wearing it, and now it's all hyped up, but you can still find a Champion shirt for less than $10. I have 3. Edit. Thanks for the likes guys, smile. I woke up and just saw all this and I didn't know it would blow up. I swear kids that wore New Balance shoes used to get the piss taken out of them as well. NB is a weird brand. On one hand, you get the suburban dad shoes, and the other they make some serious running shoes that are worth looking at for your next half marathon. Ada, on second thought, I think this is because NB didn't focus on fashion shoes historically. They made comfortable, long-lasting shoes, and that was it. They've come off of that a bit recently, but the suburban dad is drawn to the utility over form. Other brands make utility shoes as well, standard food service black, no slip sole, etc., but also have other well-marketed lines. Nike has Jordans, Reebok had the Pump, Adidas has soccer shoes, Skechers has a whole casual dress fashion line. New Balance really doesn't have another niche, or didn't for a long time, which established the reputation. Thing is, suburban dad gives no ducks about fashion and is just wearing what is comfy. That sounds like high praise. I should probably try these out. I'm a huge NB fan, own multiple pairs. They have some seriously sick shoes. If you want a quality pair that are supremely comfortable, get you a pair of 990s. Made in USA and a bit pricey but worth every penny. Kirkland brand. Costco brand 1E.G. Bayer 81 mg aspirin, $24.99 for 365 tablets. Kirkland 81 mg equivalent, $4.99 for 365 tablets. Same active ingredient, big price difference. I work in marketing and did a ton of research on Costco. The Kirkland brand is known for their quality. In fact, they won't put their name on a product unless independent market and product research shows it meets or exceeds whatever the industry leader is. Toothbrushes, chocolate-covered almonds, paper plates. Everything has to be better than the top-rated brand or it isn't good enough for the Kirkland label. Edit. I don't work for Costco or Kirkland. I work for a marketing agency and one of my clients was exploring white labeling their product for Kirkland. I was so impressed with Costco's commitment to quality. The deal fell through, but they made me a fan for life. It goes even deeper than that. I used to work for a large company that supplied for Costco. If you have what they deem to be the premium product on the market, they will actually ask you to make the Kirkland brand. The catch is that it has to be at least 1% better than your product. That's not a joke. They'll identify a metric in which their Kirkland branded product has to be slightly better than your market-leading product. As a supplier, you jump on it, because the data is clear that it jacks your sales. Usually your product sits right next to theirs on the shelf. So the consumer has two choices. Yours, or yours, at slightly worse margin. You can be assured that the Kirkland brand is always the best, because it literally is. They sold gold balls for a while. They are like unicorns, they are never in stock. They were graded as Prov 1S. The best and most expensive ball on the market. Gold balls. GOLDBAWLZ. Quick question, is there a difference between cheap and expensive brands of bleach and rubbing alcohol? Yes, I'm aware of the recent news. No, this has nothing to do with that, I'm really just curious. No. Though some are made from isopropyl alcohol and some from ethanol. But in any case, as long as you're comparing the same type, brand doesn't matter. Is there a difference between the two alcohols as far as use case? Ethanol is more volatile and more polar. It'll do a better job cleaning up water-soluble residues, while EPO will do a better job cleaning up the less water-soluble residues. In practice though, you likely won't notice the difference. I work in a lab where there is indeed a difference, but at home it's probably negligible. Costco Kirkland brand is often white-labeled brand name items. Kirkland might as well be a name brand. There are plenty of times where their quality has been better than the name brand. Not going to lie, until I read your comment I thought it was a name brand. I guess it depends on how you define name brand. It's technically a supermarket brand like Kroger, but it's known for being high quality. A lot of food on Aldi is, at least here, overproduction from name brands which is labeled differently. And one of the cheaper beer sorts here is entirely from overproduction. Which has the fun effect that you will always get a Pils type beer, But depending where you brought it, it is very different. It's not overproduction. Us Aldi, and similar Aldi associated company Trader Joe's, has their own label manufacturer agreements with multiple suppliers. So they aren't taking excess, they actually have specific Aldi runs of products that are then packaged under their name rather than the manufacturer name. Source: GF is a manufacturer supplier for Aldi. Edit: Weird Trader Joe's relationship. Generic versus name brand medicine. All medicines will contain a PL, product license number, at least in EU regions, which is unique to each type of medication, but for the same medicines are identical regardless of packaging branding. So when buying them, cross-check the PL numbers and you'll often find that the cheap drugs are identical to the expensive ones. For example, the product license for some paracetamols is PL 12063 regardless of whether it costs $1 or $10.